Okay, so first off, I want to say sorry for the delay on this one, guys. I just had so much to sort out, what with new, better PC parts I had to install into the PC, new programs like XSplit that I had to learn, and a few commissions that you're going to be seeing put into action in the next review. Chibi Robot just got pushed back a little bit, but here it is, with Xenoblade Chronicles X and Mario Paper Jam coming out over the weekend and maybe up to Wednesday. So the next two reviews will be up by Wednesday. So, with that being said, let's jump into Chibi Robot Ziplash. Oh man, a new Chibi Robot game. I love that series, if you can't tell. It's just a shame that Nintendo looked at all of the charm and quirkiness it had and threw that away and replaced it with Mario, because that's what this generation wants. Yes, I have seen that bullshit statement, and I want you all to remember it, as we will be coming back to it closer to the end and referencing it in full. But for now, well, Nintendo's going to get raked over the coals for this, unfortunately. Not the dev team or Chibi Robot, because every problem in this game is not the dev team's fault, and it's not Chibi Robot's fault. No, it's your fault, Nintendo. And this is what you forced the team to make, because this is what your bullshit statement says we all wanted. And funny thing is, if this statement was released before the game was even started, everyone would have slapped you across the face, said stop being so stupid and talking bullshit. No one wants this, and that statement is bullshit. But anyway, let's dive right into Chibi Robot Ziplash. So, we will kick it off with one of the lowest aspects in the game, the music. It's just there, much like any of the generic new Super Mario titles on the Wii U. It's just background noise, nothing memorable, just music to fill the void. It's better to just put it on mute and pretend Chibi has a built-in radio in her head, so that the Grasslands has My Home by Mando Pony playing.
Books and brooms and dreams, oh, nothing's as it seems. So much to see, so much to find. Common sense comes crashing down when you set foot in this town. Try not to lose your mind. Welcome to my home, where nothing is normal, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Welcome to my home, where gravity is the only thing that keeps me from floating away.
As this Gravity Falls song is a lot better than the generic Mario music. And with such genericness, we will move swiftly on to the graphics. They're half and half. They're all very colourful and look really nice for a DS game, but at the same time, it's all very simple and block-like. And a lot of the sprites are clearly just reskinned Mario enemies with no effort put into their design. I mean, look at this. That is clearly a Bullet Bill. And this is clearly a Goomba. They did not even try, which is a shame, as all the original assets like Chibi herself and the ship look really good. And that's really all I can say on the graphics. They're colourful and basically Mario graphics. So let's just move on to the story, which is really where you can tell where this game got Frankenstein's monster together. We start off with Chibi cleaning a satellite in space. Then we get a news flash of aliens invading Earth, and they love sugar, and all the aliens are stealing all the candy from Earth. And despite them being Chibi-sized, which in this game is about knee height, but anyway, despite all the aliens being the size of 2-year-olds, their advanced alien technology far outclasses Earth's and wastes the military. So it's up to Chibi and her butt plug to stop them. What are you laughing at? I'm being serious. Look, there is a plug, and it's attached to the butt. God, you're so childish, you dirty-minded people. But, you see, from me telling you this crazy story, you would think, oh shit, you're fighting aliens that want to steal the Earth's candy, and you have a little spaceship and you fly around in it. You would think that this would make the game awesome. But nope, we've got to have Mario gameplay. So we get this really half-arsed Frankenstein's monster of a great story, but piss-poor Mario gameplay. Speaking of which, here we go! So the gameplay? It sucks all over, bar one or two things, all because someone at Nintendo made that stupid bullshit statement. So, it's New Super Mario Bros. Wii U. It's literally move from left to right, jumping on robot Goombas, and looking for fucking star coins. And I wish I was making that up. I'm not. There is literally fucking star coins in the game. Look, there's one right now. And talking of collectibles, you're given 3 things to find. 1 or 2 pieces of candy, 3 star coins right out of the Mario games, and 3 little robots, which are basically toads that need saving. It's literally Chibi-Robot in a Mario game, which is kind of really ironic because of the Mario costume you can unlock, but we'll get into that later. And I really hate this, because if someone at Nintendo had just given the devs that bit more of a budget and also kept their stupid fat mouths shut, eyes are on you, Reggie Fee-to-Pay, with your Pokemon Picross and Mario Sticker Arcade that you have to keep putting real money into, then we could have had a really awesome Chibi Robot game on the Wii U. Rather than this 2D Mario bollocks, we could have got more of a Spyro the Dragon-like game, with there being a hub world, then 6 level gates that link you to full 3D levels, where you had to solve puzzles and explore using your butt plug to get the candy and the baby robots. It would have certainly livened up the grasslands of World 1 or the desert of World 2. Oh yes. Did I forget to mention, because Shigeru McMuffin made that stupid statement about Mario Chibi, it's not just collecting star coins like Mario, or jumping on enemies like Mario. Oh no, it's the full package, with the 6 worlds doing the Mario thing of grasslands, desert, forest, jungle, ice world, fire world, boss, but a jump chicka bum. Speaking of that now infamous butt plug that you're all drawing porn of, don't lie to me, I've seen it. How about we talk about the plug and how it fits into the game? The plug, of course, being the main staple of the Chibi Robot series, you know, considering it's part of Chibi Robot. And in this game, Chibi's tail is everything and what the whole game centers its gameplay around. Much like in the other Chibi Robot games, you can plug your tail into a socket to recharge, which I have to be okay with as it's part of the core game, but now I feel like it could have been handled way better. In the old game, it was used as a timer, with the battery slowly draining, with you having to complete the task within the amount of time. Here in Ziplash, it's even worse. The battery might have been hard to tell how much time you had left, but don't just slap Mario numbers on it. Now, like in Mario, you have a timer that ticks down to 0, and if it reaches 0, it's game over, and you have to do the level over again. I mean, at least they had the decency to give Chibi-Robot Duracell batteries, so the timer is 999 seconds, rather than Mario's 500 seconds. But it's still an outdated concept, as Jim Sterling said in his horror video.
Batteries? They last more than 60 seconds. A good fucking battery-powered flashlight will go for hours, if not days. Stop with the rapidly draining battery power. It's not spooky to run around collecting batteries via rinky-dink torch. It's just a hassle.
Which they do, What would have been a better solution, coming back to myself, or Crash, or any platformer that had a health system like Sparks or the Aku Aku Mask, is to have the battery, sure, but you see them 3 blocks in the battery? Have them be hit points. So if you get hit, you lose 1 of your 3 blocks of battery. Don't just take a random amount of time off of me. Which brings us to our next point, the voltage bank. You see, throughout the level, there are random bits of crap that you can pick up, like broken bottles, rusty cans, milk bottle tops, etc. They don't do anything to count towards your completion, but at the end of the level, all this scrap is turned into a random amount of volts, between 300 and 600, depending on the size. All of them volts are then added together and put into your volt bank. Now, because the game doesn't come with an instruction book anymore, because games apparently don't come with instruction books anymore, I had no idea what this thing did. I assumed it was like the greed machine in Isaac. So, you put your volts into the voltage bank till it's maxed out, and once it reaches 99,999, it will unlock something. Like, you have maximum power so you can reach a secret world, or something. Turns out, this is not the case. All it is there for is to refill your battery during a level if you need it. But you will never go through 999 seconds, even with taking damage. So, it's pointless. Right now, I've got over 30,000 volts in the bank and nothing to use it on. I've pretty much stopped collecting the garbage. I only pick it up if it's something new, so that it gets added to the computer. So, to sum up, the battery system is obsolete and should be hit points and not a Mario timer, which makes the Volt Bank a waste of time, so it's pointless to pick up scrap. Let's move on to the biggest part of Ziplash, the Ziplash itself. As really, this serves to show, at some point I do believe this was going to be a Banjo-Kazooie-esque Spyro the Dragon-like 3D platformer. You see, Chibi has the Ziplash, which I'll come back to last as it's the longest to explain, but also has a lot of other powers, like gliding. Oh yes, if you press jump and then jump again, Chibi swings her tail round to simulate a helicopter, kind of like Rayman's helicopter hair, that you can use to glide across gaps. However, feeling like this was used in a 3D alpha to glide to new areas, much like you would in Rayman 2 or Spyro, I say this as in the final 2D version, it has no purpose. It's only there for younger gamers that cannot do precision platforming. I can land all the jumps without the glide, and you will only ever need it like 2 times at the last couple of levels. So why even put it in? Something else you may find in the levels are special plug sockets, where you plug your tail in and you get a special power up for a brief amount of time, like being set on fire or turning to ice. And again, they are very rarely used and really have no effect. The fire version melts a certain block, and that's it. And it leads me to believe that this was an idea for a scrap 3D alpha, where the fire and ice sockets would have been like the fire and ice flower in Mario Galaxy, like turning to ice so you can run across lava. But that never happens, as again, they are rare to find and hardly ever used. But let's move on to the Ziplash, as this is the biggest piece of evidence to show that Nintendo's statement was complete BS, and to show that there was a really creative 3D game here before Nintendo messed it up. So, the Ziplash is all to do with your tail. That is, the ability to attack enemies and to Ziplash blocks. Starting with the attack, which is when an enemy is in front of you, you can swing your tail round, cause it to become electric, and throw it forward like a whip to destroy the enemies. But there are a few problems with this. The first being most of the enemies are really slow and pose no threat. Them being like Goombas, well, they pretty much are just reskinned Goombas. They just walk right to left. Most of the time, they can be ignored as they never aggro you. The second is, Your regular attack is such short range, you will only ever use the Ziplash version of the attack, which is stronger, you always have enough time to charge it up, and it penetrates, which means it goes through multiple targets. Again, the normal tail whip seems like it was something meant for a 3D game, to deal with enemies that are charging you down from across the map, when you don't have time to charge up the Ziplash. But now, moving on to the Ziplash, and the biggest piece of evidence to why I believe, at one point, before Nintendo's stupid comment, this was going to be a 3D Wii U game, and where most of my disappointment comes from. You see, across the levels, there are blocks and walls that have some red rubber on them. This red rubber acts as basically a grapple spot, so if it's on a wall and you hit it with your tail, you will be pulled up to the ledge, or if it's on a ceiling and you hit it with your tail, you will swing using your tail, and you use it to swing over the gap. Now once again, this is hardly ever used. There is only like 4 to 6 levels tops where the red rubber is on the ceiling and you use it to swing across gaps. And while the ledge rubber is everywhere, it is literally only there as a, oh well, we didn't make a super feather or tanuki leaf to get up to this ledge like in Mario. So, I don't know. Your tail will have to do, I guess. And this makes me dislike the whole gameplay for 2 reasons. The first being that if there is a higher ledge in a game, normally it's a secret, and you're supposed to figure out what you need to get up there and have a sense of accomplishment when you do. I remember in my first adventure in the Dreamweavers, there was one trapped dragon in crystal in the Haunted Towers. I could never find it. I could hear it, but I could never find it. Then, after messing around and doing silly shit, I supercharged round the edge of the castle to see a secret ledge. I fell, but after doing it again and combining the supercharge with the glide, I found the secret ledge, and I felt proud of myself. Here it's just like, there's a secret up here, stupid. Grapple up here. As for the second reason, again, it comes back to the idea that the Ziplash was intended for a much better 3D game, where there was a stick pointing out of the wall which you could grapple onto to get over to the ledges, even changing your direction mid-grapple, like in Wind Waker if you were going after a secret. Or the red ledges. Sometimes the red ledges are too high to grapple up to, this being your tail is not long enough. Yet, what do? Well, go collect 100 red balls, as each ball gives you 5 centimeters of length on your tail. So if you collect all 100, you get a maximum of 300 centimeters on your tail for that level. Almost like a game where you had to collect 100 notes or something. But, unlike the game where you had to solve puzzles to get to new areas, to get more notes, to come back to the area later that you couldn't access before, you can just grind on the same enemy until your tail is the length you need it to be. You would almost think that you were supposed to walk around this big 3D area to find 100 balls and use them to get up to the higher ledges, to solve the puzzles and get the candy. But, no, once again, it's a mechanic that was forced into the game when it's never really used. Pro tip, you will never need all 100 balls. 90% of the time, you can get to any area with 200 to 250 centimeters on your tail. And the 100 balls never count as a full completion bonus, so don't worry if you don't get them, and you'll only ever need like the maximum 300 centimeters in the last couple of levels. So, let's just move on to the last thing and the final verdict, as oh boy, I've got something to say about the last one. The last one being the costumes. I love and hate this feature at the same time. Love it, as I've always been one for the alternate costumes, especially if they still stand in cutscenes to make them look funny. Like in Ratchet and Clank, where you can have a bug skin or a robot skin, but everyone is still just acting normal. Oh yeah, that's great, Quark. You're not the slightest bit freaked out that Ratchet has turned into a giant 6-foot insect with a tail made of fire? Oh, okay then. So, it's funny to see Chibi in the rubber alien suit or the chicken suit. Shame it's just too much of a tedious pain in the ass to get them, and this is the part I hate. So, you see, the idea is that once you beat a level, that level now has an alien stand in it, and if you save the alien, and you're lucky, you might get one part of a 6-digit code. So even if you're the luckiest man alive, and you get a code piece every time, and it's not the same number that you already had, then you still have to replay the level 6 times. That is a minimum. If you're unlucky, sometimes you don't get a code piece, or you get the same number, you could be doing the level upwards of 20 times. Now, of course, that is for loners that have no friends and don't want to use the internet, or, the Miiverse. What the code piece is there for is to trade with friends and strangers on the Miiverse. So I have a 1. Oh, but that guy over there, he has a 6. So if we trade, then the 1 will show up on his code card and the 6 will show up on mine. And it makes getting the code a lot faster. But you need the internet for that. Or, because you're never going to grind, and the Miiverse is a stupid idea, you can just look up all the codes online, as the codes never change. Your number will turn red, like the game crying at you saying you cheated, but there's no penalty for it. So just do it, because Nintendo, you need to learn that locking content behind friend walls or the Miiverse means people are going to cheat to get it. It's Triforce Heroes all over again, where the Power Ranger suit, you need 3 friend tokens, but you can only get the 3 friend tokens if you have 2 friends online at the same time as you that are also in the same country as you, and that is why 90% of people use the Game Shark to cheat the friend tokens in to get the Power Ranger suit. But they're just costumes, Spyro, so why bring them up? They're not part of the main game and you don't have to get them. Well, I bring them up for one reason. In each world, you have your standard costumes, like your cat suit, your chicken suit, the rubber alien suit, etc. But each world has a special Nintendo mascot costume. World 1, it's Mario. World 2, it's Link, and so on. Mascots of Nintendo. And once you get to World 6, can you guess which mascot of Nintendo it is? Oh man, I don't know. Maybe it's Donkey Kong, or something new like the Inkling or the Wii Fit Trainer. No, none of those. It's Captain Rainbow. Oh yeah, nice of you to put in a mascot costume of a character and a game that is never going to be released outside of Japan. Why is it not going to be released outside of Japan, Nintendo of America and UK? Is it because Japan said that Birdo is officially a man, and in Captain Rainbow he has a male voice? Or is it because there is a mission where you have to find Birdo's dildo? I'm not joking about that, that is a real mission. Or is it maybe that it's brimming with charm and originality and would be fun to play? But we can't have that because it's not a Mario clone. Because, children, here is what Nintendo said that made Chibi so shit. We want something that appeals to this generation of gamers, like Mario does. Fuck you, Nintendo. Fuck you with a big flaming sword. In a generation that is driven on indie games brimming with charm and imagination. Games like Isaac that take you to the darkest places of your mind. Games like Fez that have a beautifully crafted, mysterious world where you have to work everything out for yourself. Games like Spooky and Albino Lullaby that make a mockery of Five Nights and surpass it 1,000-fold because they're not taking themselves too seriously. This generation is all about personality and charm, like Captain Rainbow. Or is it that's what your marketing team told you? Kids today like Mario Wii U because it sold a lot of copies. Kids today like crafting systems, so pick shit up off the ground. kids today are on the Facebooks, so put some Facebook's code swapping bollocks in there as well. No. No. You're wrong. And both you and your other companies need to stop doing this. This is what this generation of gamers wants, bollocks. And make the games that you want to make. Bethesda is guilty of this as well. This generation of gamers likes crafting systems, so let's put one of those in where you can build houses. But let's remove the karma meter, let's remove the reputation meter, and everything else that made New Vegas better. Because, here's the difference. In New Vegas, you made a game that you wanted to make. You did the silly shit like Wild Wasteland. Now this generation of gamers likes Call of Duty and realistic stories, so this game needs to be serious. In the old Chibi Robot games, you took your DS around the house taking pictures of things or whatever other interesting ideas they wanted to try out. But no, this generation of gamers likes Mario, indicated by this chart of how many people like Mario. So, it's going to be Mario rather than the fun game that we wanted to make. Stop having the chart and this generation of gamers bollocks dictate what you're making. Edmund Macmillan doesn't. If he wants to make a fucked up game, he will, and bollocks to anybody that doesn't like it. If Spooky and Albino Lullaby want to make a funny horror game to show that it doesn't have to be another FNAF clone, but the FNAF fans are gonna hate it, then screw them guys. It doesn't matter about the FNAF fans. They made the game that they wanted to make, and it'll appeal to the fans they want it to appeal to. They're not catering for this generation. They're making the game that they want to make. That's why my final verdict for Chibi Robot Ziplash is a piss-poor 1 out of 5. There is nothing worth looking at in this game. The gameplay? It's Mario. The music? It's Mario. Everything is by what the chart said, with no imagination whatsoever, because that's what it needs to be, because that's what this generation of gamers want, apparently. Even though they don't, and they love games made solely on imagination and creativity, like Fez, like Spooky, like Katamari Damacy, and most importantly, like Captain Rainbow, a game in which you go to a magical rainbow island with Birdo, Little Mac, and the Famicom warriors from Famicom Wars, where your weapon is but a simple yo-yo, but it gives you rainbow powers to fight demons with a yo-yo. Satan's coming out of the ground, oh no problem, just whack him in the face with the yo-yo. Come to think of it, the strongest weapon in Terraria is a yo-yo. Maybe that's where they got the idea for the yo-yo weapon, but regardless, these are the games that people want to see, that dare to go outside of the box. There was also another statement about Chibi Robot that Nintendo also made. This is Chibi's last try at selling. If it does not do well, then this is the last Chibi Robot game. Don't make me laugh. For a AAA company that makes new installments of its IP every year if you're Mario or Zelda, I call BS on that. Especially since you made that Chibi amiibo to work with everything else. This is Chibi's last try at selling. If it does not do well, then this is the last Chibi Robot game. Well, that's hardly fair, as it failed because you designed it to fail. Where is the fun version of Ziplash on the Wii U? The full 3D one, where all these powers, like the glide, like the Ziplash, like the power-ups, are used properly, and are not just either a throwaway one-level gimmick or never used at all. This is Chibi Robot's last try at selling. If it does not do well, then this is the last Chibi Robot game. Oh yeah, Nintendo? You really mean that? Then give Chibi Robot to me. I'm sure Toby Fox, or Platonic Games, or Ape Law Studio can do something amazing with Chibi, and I can easily contact them. Come on, Nintendo, you're talking the talk. Let's see you walk the walk. let's see you really put your money where your mouth is. Because if this is the last ever Chibi Robot game, why keep it? You're never going to make another one, so why not give it to someone else and let them have a try? You won't, because like all AAA, you can talk a big game, but you will never have the commitment or the balls to follow through. The commitment to stop because how eager you are to churn out sequels every year, if only for tuppence, or the balls, because if you were ever asked to sell Chibi, even though you stated you're never making another one, you won't, just in case you do make another one and backpedal on your statement. And that is my video on why Chibi Robot deserves better than you, Nintendo, and why Nintendo should learn to keep its mouth shut and let devs make the game that they want to make and not what the chart said. But most importantly, why, seems Chibi herself has a costume of it in-game, Captain Rainbow should be translated for the rest of the world, because it will sell a hell of a lot more than that stupid Twilight Princess HD you're releasing, as once people play Captain Rainbow, their dreams will be haunted and their nightmares will be brightened by Birdo, and the fact that there is a male voice coming out of that girly dinosaur, because he was finally officially declared as a man, and you're going on a magical rainbow-powered adventure to find Birdo's missing dildo, and they will see why it is a crime that Captain Rainbow was not translated for the rest of the world, and why at time of writing it is still a crime that Captain Rainbow has not been translated for the rest of the world. So, to end here, Nintendo, I love Chibi, and she deserves better, so make a better Chibi Robot game, not following what the chart says, and of course, localize Captain Rainbow. Oh, and if you're wondering, the 1 out of 5, that 1 point is solely for Chibi Robot, as she is the only thing worth looking at.
According to polls, or so we've been told, when kids hear adult jokes, it makes them feel old. They feel more grown up to be in on the gag. Once seen in the trailer, it's cash in the bag.
The same goes for butt jokes and modern slang too. It makes the crowds think we're on the same level as you. We talk the same lingo and reference pop culture.
Yes, focus groups make us more profitable vultures.
But Seuss got popular because he wrote what he wanted to see, not what focus groups want to see. Have you ever considered the possibility that maybe people don't know what's best for them? And by continually giving them the same crap, they'll never know what's different, so they'll just keep asking for the same crap?
Well, the chart says...
I'm not asking the charts, I'm asking you!
Well, the chart says...
You are everything that's wrong with entertainment!
But the chart says...
Come back! Please come back!
This can't be. Come back. No, there's no focus groups. No numbers. It's only one thing a corporate tool can do when he doesn't have a boss.
No.
And that's... Come on.
No! I'm coming with you!
That was funny.